Uh, all right, Facebook. Hello, hello, hello. Happy Thursday, Tuesday. That music make me want to say Thursday. Good evening. Happy Tuesday, everyone. We are here, the Village Speaks Talk Show, with your host, Chandra Stringer, with on Bless Boulevard. I almost said with the most. On Bless Boulevard House at the Inspiration Station. There is no place like this place around this place, but we are excited that you are joining us tonight. Can you please like and share the video? We would certainly appreciate it. We're going to get started in about 30 seconds. About 30 seconds. All right. That's my jam part right there. Y'all, we're doing this show virtual tonight, so y'all don't get to see me jam. Oh, Father, we thank you. All right. Dun. All right, you guys. Thank you guys so very much. This is the second week of our new show time, which is at 8 o'clock, and our new show day, which is on Tuesday. So you got to give me a little minute to get acclimated to Tuesday and not Thursday. But welcome. Thank you for tuning in. We're so excited to have you here with us tonight. We have an awesome guest, and I cannot wait for you to hear from her. But just as in the way of announcements, just don't forget, on Thursday night, the crew will not be here this Thursday. They will be back next week. So I would greatly appreciate if you go ahead and follow Nikki Jazzy Sweets page to mirror your more. You have Nikisha Freeman with Angel Expression. You have Emmanuel, and I never can pronounce his last name, with Unk Sauce. And then you have the infamous Shamika Falcon with Granny B's Butters and More. Those are the four that's normally here on Thursdays. And then you cannot forget Meatless Mondays with Auntie Candy with Vegan Healing Vibes. Make sure you like and follow their page. And we have the barbecue stand with all the plans and pans, right? That's none other than Sherwin Foster with Foster's Barbecue. Make sure you like and follow their page. And congratulations to Sherwin. He actually opened up a brick and mortar on 45th Street and Congress Avenue, and it's called Breaded or Not Breaded. All right, so make sure you go by and see them. And I want to say, don't hold me to this, I want to say the days are Monday through Saturday from 11 to 8, but follow his page. He'll have that menu and time up as well. This weekend we do have one thing going on. Mama Jean with the household supplies will be here early Saturday morning. Somebody say early Saturday morning. She will be here. But also congratulations to GCI Training and Empowerment Center, doing business as the Urban Institute of Excellence for Certification. We will be acknowledged as the nonprofit of the year at the Legacy 20th year anniversary celebration this Saturday. Can somebody say great? Go God. I'm so excited about that. It's an honor. Y'all know I don't brag on myself like that. I tell the hardship of the hard work. So I'm so happy that someone actually acknowledged and nominated us. And so we will be there on Saturday evening. So I'm going to be like Cinderella on Saturday. I'm not working that much. Okay, so without any further ado, I want to give the rest of our time together, because we will be off at 8:30, our time for our special guest. And I'm so grateful, so humble that you thought it not robbery to join us tonight. So can you please tell the listening audience who you are?
Yes. So hello, everybody. And I just want to say thank you so much for inviting me on tonight. I am so excited. I'm so excited to just bring everything that God has given me, because it's all God and a little bit of me, okay? Just me being obedient. So I am very excited tonight. And I'm just, grateful for this opportunity. So my name is Coach Dee, and I am the facilitator, and I am the founder of Women Thrive Ministries. And we are a group where we meet twice a month. And we actually discuss things that we go through as women in general, things to help us grow and flourish and thrive so we can be better, not only in ministry, but just in life as moms and whatever titles it is that you hold in the workplace, anywhere. So I am a mother of two, and I am a grandmother. So what a legacy to be able to leave for my children and for my grandchildren. So I'm just happy again and blessed to be here tonight, and just so grateful for the opportunity.
Yes, awesome. Well, thank you so very much. And we met through a mutual friend, Michelle, who we had on a few weeks ago. And I'm just floored that, connections happen so strategically and by design. And so
Yeah.
when we connected, I'm like, great, great, great. We got to get you on the show. So you talked about, you're a mom and a grandmother. And I'm like, grandmother of who? You wear it well. Let's just say that. Tell us about a little bit more about your services, because not only do you host women's ministry meetups, which is so important. I'm telling you, one of the today I was like, Lord, I need two ginger ales. When I get stressed, I say that as a joke. But yeah, today one of them days I need two ginger ales. But can you talk about your services as a life coach, and then we'll dive a little bit more into the women's ministry?
Yes. So my services as a life coach, I consider them as safe spaces for women to go to. So outside of having my life group, I actually also grant opportunities and spaces for women to be able to have private one-on-one conversations with me, where there may be an emergency or something that may be going on, just so we can work through those things, because I am a believer of what you do not deal with begins to start to deal with you. So we want to kind of chip at those things, before the enemy gets involved, and then what starts out small grows into something big. So I believe in just getting that thing right from the beginning. So safe spaces is very important to me to have. A lot of people, they don't like to do it in a group. They want to do it in one-on-one, because sometimes it can be a little bit embarrassing to maybe have to share everything in a group. So I offer those services as well.
Oh, awesome. So when you think about safe spaces, what has been some of the challenges that you ran across, without disclosing specific stories or anything like that? What has been some of those things that you're like, you know what? I'm just going through some. I just want somebody to talk to. Because what I've learned, a nap will save you a whole lot of time and a nap will save you a whole lot of time and trouble.
Yeah,
But after that nap, depending on the
yeah.
severity of the chaos in the situation, circumstances, you may just need somebody to just say, listen, sis, I just gotta put it out here. I don't need nobody to judge me. I don't need nobody to make me feel bad. I already feel bad. I don't need nobody to say, oh, I thought you were better than that, or I thought you really knew the Lord. What are some of those things that you're finding, like common threads that women are asking or entrusting you with?
Oh, great question. I will say that the biggest thing is that the enemy is using us to make us think that we are the only ones who are going through that. So
Mm,
not only does a safe space allow them to express how they feel, but it allows God to give me the opportunity to be able to tell my testimony. Because
yeah,
the enemy, where we do not fill in the gaps, he have no problem doing.
right.
Okay. So he will put all these thoughts into your mind and have you overthinking things through. So safe spaces is a really good space to be at, where you can really trust somebody to really just get your emotions and everything that you're feeling. Because let's just say society and the world alone does not really give us a safe space to be able to talk about things, right? Because we have to be perfect. We have to be perfect as humans. We have to be perfect as women. So everybody wants to really like put on this, I'm strong. Okay. So we don't have places where we can just say, today I'm not as strong as I thought I was. And
Right.
that's not really common for us, because we're held to these high standards in work, at home. There's a lot of need for us as women, and we don't have anywhere where we can go and dump all of this stuff. A lot of people are not comfortable with regular counseling, right? they're
Mhm,
they're not, like, as much it can be frowned upon, like a lot
mhm.
of times, but then sometimes people can say, oh, I think counseling is great, but making that initial step to do it, it could be hard, because you don't know who you're going to get. They're complete strangers that you could be talking to. So what more of an opportunity to be able to have a safe space with somebody who or have a mutual friend just having that open door where you could be able to say, I know that if I'm ever going through this person is going to be open and they're going to be able to be receptible to hearing things that I have to say. And not only that, I can be able to get set free. I can get delivered. I can get healed. And when I leave, I will not leave the same way that I came in. So that's what's important for me, is being able to just chip at things a little bit at a time. I mean, I can't get everything done in one session, but we can always come back and do another one. So I just love that one-on-one. I love group, but one-on-one is good because, that speaks volumes that a person can trust you and what you're doing. And they trust the God in you. And that's important.
Absolutely. And Pastor Darius said Sunday, Darius Daniels, shout out to Change Church and New Jersey and all those and Change Global. He said something about, women, it said, you're so strong. He said, women don't want to be strong. It's just, it's all, I don't have no choice. And so sometimes but even in the choice gets tangled. That there are days that you're just like, I just can't do this. And I was reading, no, I'm not reading. We were watching a video last evening, a group of us women, and it was saying that suicide is the third leading cause of death in teens. And I'm like, teens? Like the third leading cause of death in teens? So if it's a third leading cause of death in teens, you can only imagine what adults are contending with. And that really was an eye-opener for me on many levels. And I'm grateful for, for safe spaces, and definitely grateful for counseling too, because I tell individuals, if you need professional help, do not sit there and think or worry or care about what somebody else says, because that's your life on the line. And I'm just so grateful that there are pockets around that God can trust individuals to create those spaces, and people can feel okay with saying how they feel, what they think, and getting to a happy medium. And so that is awesome. So let's dive in just a few more minutes to talk about your group sessions. You have those twice a month. Are they virtual, or they're in person, or how are they conducted?
So they are on Zoom, and they are every other Thursday. So it will be twice a month. And we come on at 7:30. And just a little bit to dive into some of the topics that we talk about. What I do is I take biblical stories that people go through in the Bible, and I bring them into our everyday life, right? Because we want to be able to incorporate. It's not just me. I don't want to tell you anything. I want to tell you what God said, right? Because I want you to be effective, and I want you to move, and I want you to operate, and I want you to be the way and the example of Jesus, right? Yes. So I think it's just very important to dive into certain conversations. A lot of times we'll talk about things like about how we struggle with forgiveness. Walking by faith, right? Because a lot of people think, oh, that's wonderful, I can do that. And if I just have the faith, the size of a mustard seed. But that's cute though, right? But a lot of times when you have challenging days, you're spiritually just not there. That sounds good, right? We got all our notes and everything together, but when it comes time to do that hands-on part, we're like, oh my goodness, no, my reaction wasn't the way that I thought it was gonna be. So I think what's most important to me and what keeps me grounded is that I try to be the example, number one. But I think it's very important to bring to the group that we need to be able to give God time. That's my number one motto, is that society, social media, the pressure that we have from our spouses, our children, or whoever, it makes us feel that we have to do everything right now. And with those pressures on us, it's almost like we are not giving God time. We're aborting our missions. We're not completing our assignments because we're frustrated. We don't have safe spaces or rooms or, things to help us through all of these crazy spaces that we can't figure out. What are these emotions? What are these things that I'm feeling? We don't have nowhere where we can just lay these things down and say, today, I'm just not feeling this day. This was a rough day. So there needs to be a space where we can be able to not only give God time, but allow God to work on us a little bit at a time. We are not going to be perfect. This is a journey. As my grandfather used to say, Rome was not built in a day. And we have to allow ourselves time, other people time, how to be able to mingle with other people. That sometimes is wonderful if we meet people and they're already put together. But a lot of times your friends, your spouses, your children, they are assignments.
Yes.
And no one teaches us that because we think it's all supposed to come together and we get the picket fence and the grandchildren, the children, everything is set up the way that we want it to. So everything, these things in our head and these imaginations and things that we have to come back down to real life and say, sis, no, it
Yes.
don't work that way. So meanwhile, we're wearing all of these hats and these hats and these hats and these hats, and we're not just chiseling at these things, and we just look so good on the outside, but the inside, we're not healing properly. We're not healing properly, you know? So I think it's important that I always just let everybody know to just give God time. Give God time. You're not going to just go from here to there tomorrow. I mean, I know we watch videos and they say, I became a millionaire overnight, but they don't tell you what they have to do behind the scenes of what we have to go through to get to these places, the warfare that you have to deal with. Okay. The attacks and everything like that. And, you know, the time restraints and how some things could overwhelm you, and allowing God space and time to just be God. We can't figure everything out. We don't have all of the answers, and really just allowing God to do the work in us. And sometimes just say, this is all I have in this season. I have no more to give. That's it. Right. So now it's your turn, God, to take over and do what I can't do. So.
Right. And it's so ironic because I was reading, and I want to say it's the power of self. I always get it mixed up. I don't know if it's power of self-discipline. And the book said the most aha moment, that's the best way I can put it. The most aha moment is us feeling like that we can conquer things that we cannot. And what we're thinking conquering things is going to be easy. We're thinking we can easily change and it's going to be easy. It was like, no, we got to be comfortable with being uncomfortable, and basically giving ourselves time, because if we have a behavior, whether it's a thought process, whether it's a mindset, it's not going to be abracadabra and you're going to wake up the next morning and you're going to think positive every single day. You're going to do the things that you know you're supposed to do every single day. And so it's when we have those false expectations of that everything comes easy. It was like, no, change is uncomfortable. And the more we get comfortable with being uncomfortable, we will accept change and go through the process. And so that was like, whoa, that really helped me. It really helped me. And I'm like, this is why reading is so important. And we do want to make sure that we stay connected. But one of the things was an aha moment for me was, Chandra, after you be connected, after you've done everything else, you got to know it's work that you have to do. There is work that you're going to have to do. And it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter that, you know, you're in these groups or you're whatever it is, even when they meet with you one-on-one, there are some things that it's required of us. You cannot wave a magic wand and make me, I was praying even before we got on about the spirit of inferiority. I could feel it surging, not just because of me, but because of people around me and the things that I hear and see and feel that people are going through. And what that basically is saying, that spirit is trying to raise his head or trying to make you feel that way so you can react, because it knows that that's something you're dealing with. And we can't look at people as that. We got to know, hey, that doesn't feel comfortable for me. I've learned how to deal with it and I can't go back. So I got to get used to. I have to get used to people or that trying to overwhelm me, but knowing, hey, tap, 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 that's not who I am. And so there's some work to be done on our part, and not just letting God picking up where we can't, but we need to be the driver.
Yes.
Try to do it, I'm in trouble.
I'm in trouble. I agree.
Yeah. So as a life coach that holds groups and everything else, Coach Dee, what are some of the things that you do as a practice? I don't read a lot. I'm learning to get back into reading. I used to be an advocate reader in my younger days. But I also know that successful people have regimens. Like there are things that they do in the morning that cause their day to go better. Can you speak on that?
Oh, absolutely. Yes. So I'm glad that you asked that question because me being the tender years of 43 years old, I decided about 4 months ago that I was going to dive into training for a half marathon. Okay. So I used to kind of run in high school and I decided to pick up that passion again because I believe as you get older that it's really good, to find something to do meaningful with your time because your kids are getting older and you're like, okay, what do I do, for myself? So that was a passion of mine. So being able to dive into that, I think that kind of coincides with my ministry and my life group because it teaches me a lot mentally. Because at times when I want to give up, I wasn't able to run 6 miles. I can run 6 miles now like it's no tomorrow with no stopping. I wasn't at that place. And I love how God starts with me first. And I get up in the morning and I might run about, 3 or 4 miles because I kind of do my 6 here or there. I do a few run miles, but I get up, I pray in the morning. I believe it's very important to set your day. How your day starts, it could determine how the rest of your day go. So I think setting the atmosphere, prayer, very important. Reading the word, even if you only have 20, 30 minutes in the morning, I believe that is very important. I always tell everybody to have your 5 minute breaks in between. So what I mean by that is that when you're going from one place to the next, work to home to this to that, I think it's very good to have 5 minutes in between of just quiet time. Some people call it woosah. I need a minute, whatever it is. I think those pauses are very important because it gives yourself, your spirit, and your brain enough time to go from one thing to the next. Then that way you're not bringing work home, home to work, here to there. I'm not bringing this into my runs. My morning regimen I'm not getting up in the morning concerned about things that happened yesterday. So those 5 minute pauses is very important for me. And it is crucial part of my journey because it gives your brain time to process what do I have to do next. If not, it all just get, jumbled together. And next thing you know, you find yourself putting this here and putting this there. And you're like, oh, I forgot to call this person back at work. I am a true believer that home is home and work is work. If you do not separate the two, you're giving room and space for the enemy to play around because he'll say, well, let me just mix the pot. And anytime when you're ready, okay, the enemy is ready too. So if you do not prepare your mind in a positive space from going from one thing to the next, it could be just like a disaster at times. And you can find yourself with emotional meltdowns. We have them as adults. We do. We have meltdowns, okay? And you can find yourself having a meltdown. You can find yourself just being overstimulated. So those 5 minute pauses is very important. And I just encourage everybody. I am a reader, so I love to read. That is something that I do before I go to bed. I encourage everybody, all of the women to find something that you are passionate about, something that you love. So the closing of your day or the beginning of your morning, do something. If you just love to just listen to music or praise and worship, if you love jazz, whatever it is that you love to do, I just encourage you to pour into yourself because you are important. You are important and you matter.
Yes. And it's so funny because I was it yesterday? Yesterday's just this Tuesday. Yeah. Woo! Today is just Tuesday. So I was on the call with my nutritional coach yesterday, and we were just going over. I said, yeah, last week was a bad week. The other 3 weeks they were fair. I'm just being honest. I said, but one thing I'm proud of, I started taking 1 hour lunch breaks. I work for myself. So, okay. But it was like eat at my desk, eat on the run. If I had a lunch meeting, I would take an hour lunch. But now, like one day last week, I didn't get a chance to take a break until 5 o'clock in the evening. But I said, oh no, 1 hour is 1 hour. So I went and drove my car, sat at a park, literally for 1 hour or 45 minutes to just, get my brain together because I knew I had some more work to do that evening. And we have to be honest with ourselves. And we're grateful for the wisdom to understand where we are and be okay with where we are, but also being honest to say, you know what, I'm at my breaking point. and I need some help. I need some intervention. And it
Mhm.
starts with me. And then if I can't keep that consistency, perhaps it's better that I get a coach. Perhaps it's better that I get to life groups. We were not made to live this life alone. The enemy wants us to think that. He wants us by himself because, like you're saying, I'm the only one. Nobody else dealing with loneliness, nobody else dealing with financial issues, everybody vacation and kumbaya. No, and it's not. And I'll have to say this because I want to make sure we're clear. I'm watching my time. Want to make sure we're clear. A life in God is not a continuous life of struggles. That's not what we're saying. A life in God is not a continuous life of struggles. It is a life lived out with purpose in a what's the word in a what's the word I use for the world in a fallen world. So because we live in a fallen world, we will experience struggles from time to time, but that's not our plight. And so at no time do we want anybody to think, well, I'm just going to always be this way. This is just who I am. No, it is not. Don't ever think that and don't ever believe that. So, Doctor, I'm gonna call you Dr. D. Coach G, what are some of your closing remarks? First of all, how can individuals reach you? Can you say that and then we'll make sure we put it in the comment section as well?
Sure, I can say that. So if you can reach me if you're interested in coming to any of my groups. Again, they are twice a month. They are 7:30. They usually run about an hour, hour and a half. I'm going to be honest, unless the Holy Spirit say something different. Okay, so it's usually just an hour. But you can reach me through email, and that would be SydeaWright@yahoo.com, and that's SYD as in David, EEAH WRIGHT@yahoo.com. So you can reach me that way, and I will send you all of the information. I try to the best of my ability to not post it because I feel like that I want it to be like an invitation thing because there's a lot of personal information that's shared from people in the group. So I rather people contact me and then we kind of go from there because we don't want everybody's business exposed. Again, this is a safe place again. So I try to, make sure that everybody is comfortable because I mean, sometimes, talking about parenting and, really talking about things that we deal with as women could really go a lot deep. And we don't want to, have all our business all over platforms and everything because that's just not the way that we do things over here. So I just want to say in closing that I just encourage everybody to give God time. Give him time. You're not going to be able to figure it out overnight. Some things you're going to get to places where you're going to feel like you're not going to be able to make it. You don't have the strength to make it through, but you have to allow God room and space to be God. A lot of times we want to help God out, but we have to allow God to be God. And just be patient with your journey. Sometimes you're going to fall. You got to get back up. You got to brush yourself off. There's going to be days where you're not going to feel it. You're not going to want to do it. You're not going to be inspired. Your faith is not going to always be on 1,000. But whatever it is, you're going to start by having the faith of a mustard seed and you're going to work from there. But I just encourage everybody to do not let social media, anybody around you put pressure on you. Suicide is real. It is real. And we don't give God time to fix everything. Don't make anybody make you believe that because you are 45, 55, 65, that it's over. It's not over. It's not over until God says it's over. So I just want to thank you again for having me on, and I appreciate you.
No, thank you so very much. And I'm so grateful for, the flexibility that we can have on our shows. Sometimes we talk about community causes, and we have a lot of that coming up for May and June. So you will hear about that. But when I start thinking about the pressures of women, and we had Women's History Month in March, and, this is Women's Wellness Week. So it was so fitting because a lot of times we as women, we're so busy pouring out, we don't know how to sit still to be poured back in. And you cannot pour from an empty pitcher. And so as we culminate this week as Women Wellness Week, please, women and men, but mostly women, because it's Women Wellness Week, right? Take that time and find where you need to be. They like to say, find your tribe. I'm going to take a word from what you said, find your assignment. Oh, thank you, Lord. Thank you, God. Because when you find your assignment, you'll find your tribe. Because
Yeah.
sometimes we look for people because we think they can help us with the contract or they can help us get into this door, can help us. No, find your assignment. Because when
Yeah.
you find your assignment, your tribe will already be in place. And so tonight, we want to say thank you guys for tuning in. Oh, I'm so grateful. And prayer works. It's
It does. It does.
a joke, y'all.
Yes. Yes, it does. Oh man.
Yeah, man. Woo, thank you. But definitely, you guys, make sure you follow Coach D, because I just believe that nothing happens by accident, and I'm so grateful that our paths cross. And I look forward to collaborating with you on some things. And we will definitely go back into the comment section and post the email address that you can be that she can be reached at, and then make sure you follow her personal page and her business, her ministry page, just to be
Yeah.
connected. And so thank you again. Thank you again. And we always
Thank
ask the
you.
one last question. How can the community support you?
I think the community could just support me, that I would say, by just tuning in, guys. Okay, just tune in. I encourage everybody, because guess what? It takes a village. It is not just one person. Okay, this is a kingdom that we have to do. So it's not just my ministry. I just want to tell everybody to please don't ever underestimate the underdogs. There are a lot of anointed, wonderful women. So not just follow me, but just follow, pray about it first though. Okay, because everything we're not supposed to be connected to, let's just be honest. But I encourage everybody to just support each other as a whole, because it's needed. So if you could just do that favor for me, I am a selfless person. Okay, but just let's build one person at a time and start with us.
Thank you again, Coach. All
Thank
righty,
you.
guys. We are almost out of here. We're going to get our intro. We're going to get our exit music, which is our intro music. And we look
All
forward
right.
to connecting with you guys next week. We have an awesome guest. You got to watch the flyer and the announcements to see when it is and who it is, rather. But we look forward to connecting with you next week, Tuesday, right here on Blessed Boulevard with the Village Speaks Talk Show. I am Shanta Stringer, your host, and look forward to seeing you soon. Y'all be blessed. Bye bye. See y'all later.
Bye.